the biggest glass. Where you have 3 glasses, the biggest one is usually the water goblet, and that takes your water. The second one is usually for red wines, and then the smallest one for white wines. In holding wines, I'm using this for color's sake. Personally, as a Christian, I do not drink alcohol. I will not drink alcohol. Don't give me 2% and tell me that is okay. I do not. I just believe that it's important to draw your lines and draw them well. So where are you going to say is the limit? Is it 9, 7, 5? Is it 11? How about the guy who tells you if he takes 18 that nothing happens to him? Do you understand what I'm saying? Before you know it, you're going to be a drunk. So for me, draw the line clear. I do not drink alcohol. So if I'm going to drink red wine, it's going to be alcohol removed. I remember many years ago, before I lived in Boston, I was visiting Boston. I didn't live in Boston at the time. So my friend, very good friend, who wanted to receive me very powerfully. So he takes me to this wine store, just wines. And pastor, he was grabbing things. Pastor. I have learned through the years to always flip and look. When I looked at the kinds of things, I knew that this one I was going to be, if I drank that kind of wine, I would be quoting from the book of the Mormons. It can't be from the regular Bible. So I said, no, please. No. It's good. No. So, however, he started looking for non-alcoholic drinks. And then he finds this red wine that said alcohol removed. And I really enjoyed it. And I think that was the first time I drank red wine, real red wine that is alcohol removed. It's not very common. I've seen 1 or 2 here in the country, but so it has to be alcohol removed. How do you hold your red wine? You hold red wines from the bowl. Another day we have this class, we're going to have the setting. Is that fine? Yes. So we'll have the setting, we'll have real food, and as the teacher, I'll be doing real demonstrations. Real demonstration. Yes, promise. The next time we have this class will be a real setting. We'll have our chefs work with me as we have a real setting. We have everything so you can see it. Because there's something about learning. I can tell you, but that's how you see it and it sticks with you. Right? It just sticks with you. So you hold red wines by the bowl. So you have the thing sticking out here. You're holding it by the bowl. Red wines. You hold them by the bowl. You hold white wines by the stem. Did somebody hear that? You hold white wines by the stem. I have how I learnt it and how it stuck. Should I teach you my own method? It's just a private method. You know how like in biology they taught us about Mr. Niger. Characteristics of living things, right? Movement, respiration, nutrition, what? Irritability, growth, excretion, reproduction, right? So it made it easy for us to learn. So my own for wines was, we hold the white wines by the stem. I consider white as purity. And I said it's important that we expose our purity, right? Right? That's how it stuck. For me, that's how it stuck. That's how it stuck. And I know that the other one, which is the red wine, you hold it by the bowl. I think the blood covers, anyways. It's for atonement. So that's how I learned that. So white wines by the stem, red wines by the bowl. If you're invited for a dinner, if it is a formal dinner, you have to be in a proper dress code. Proper dress code will mean, typically speaking, tuxedo suit. If you don't have a tuxedo, maybe a nice black suit for the guys, typically black suit, white shirt. In some settings, there are little flexibilities here and there, but look smart. But typically, would be a black suit, black tuxedo shoes. There are, you can just represent yourself, represent your family well, Then for the ladies would be a nice dinner dress, a nice dinner dress. Okay. The dining starts when the host picks up their cutlery. The dining starts when the host picks up their cutlery. Because you're at the table, no one has said anything. You've eaten half of the food in front of you already. One thing that can help you is to be a good observer. Try not to be the first. Observe sufficiently and know how to jump into the train. Do you understand? That way you'll be safe, especially if you're not very sure. So typically, in formal dining settings, the dinner opens when the host picks up their cutlery. Okay, they pick up their cutlery. That's when you start as well. So note that. Your napkin is not tucked into your shirt. Your napkin is spread over your laps. So there's a dinner napkin. The dinner napkin is not for wiping your nose. So please go to dinner with your handkerchief, a clean handkerchief. If you must sneeze on the dinner table, you must realize that this is a highly sensitive thing. But sometimes you can't help some of these natural impulses. What do? Always over your shoulder, especially when it comes suddenly. If you sneeze on the table, and say sorry, that's the end of the dinner. That's the end of the dinner. That's the end of the dinner. So over your shoulder. Also in the States, it's very commonplace to sneeze into your elbow. That's how we do it. In America, we sneeze into our elbow. It's very commonplace. And it doesn't mean it's only your elbow. If your hanky is close by, you can muffle the sound of the sneezing. Some people's sneeze is as strong as a turbo engine. So you can muffle the sound by covering your nose with your handkerchief. You can easily muffle the sound. And of course, the most appropriate is usually to cover your nose with your hand that way, especially with your handkerchief. But if it comes suddenly, it can be this, it can be over your shoulder. That is acceptable. If you're going to use the toilet, you do not announce on the table, "Excuse me, I like to use the bathroom." No, you just excuse yourself and leave the table. You don't announce bathroom at the table. You don't announce it at the table. You just excuse yourself and leave. I'm teaching you the general ones. The next class, we will take it more. Just some things to, get you in line. When a lady stands up at the table, if there's a guy sitting beside her, you're supposed to stand as she takes her leave. And stand when she returns to her chair. Ladies, that doesn't mean you should intentionally sit beside a guy so you can torment his life. And when he doesn't stand, you look at him, don't know you're supposed to stand. Do you understand that? You do not use your personal cutlery to serve yourself from a communal dish. A communal dish is a plate where everybody is taking from. You don't use your personal cutlery. You use the spoon or whatever cutlery is assigned to that plate. That's what you use. Eat food in bite sizes. Eat food in bite sizes. Don't drink when your mouth is full of food. Finish chewing, then drink. Remember that I loved you enough to tell you. And remember, you took the class for free. These are very expensive classes. You better listen. So don't eat with your mouth full. Finish chewing, then drink. Not when your mouth is full of food, you take stuff and start drinking at the same time as you're eating. No, that is completely off. Did you know that it is said that your etiquette skills are the first visible signs of the state of your professionalism? So someone can literally judge you professionally from your etiquette skills. So here you are trying to strike a multi-million-dollar deal and you're meeting over lunch. You know, time will fail me to teach about restaurant etiquette because it's got its etiquette. And you're meeting with your prospective business clients at lunch. They're judging you. They don't know your company. They've really not done business with you before. But they're going to judge whatever your company stands for from the quality of your person. And the quality of your person is going to be judged by the quality of your etiquette skills. So you do not want to fail at all. You don't want to miss it there. You don't want to miss it at all. You don't want to miss it. Food is served, plates are served from the left and removed from the right. So people are sitting and you are serving. You don't bring plates from the right. You serve plates from their left. When you're removing plates, it's from the right. The way some of you are looking at me, you are lost. You're like, please, let me just eat my okpa and have peace. All these rules and regulations. But I'm here to help some of you. You've been praying so hard for God to elevate you. You think this is how you're going to eat when the king invites you or when the president invites you to a banquet. So you better learn now. People are watching you. There's always someone watching you who has the ability to elevate your status, who has the ability to bless you. And it's in little details. Very little details can make a very big difference. Very, very, very big difference. Never intercept a pass. What does that mean? Someone has asked for salt. In typical dining etiquette, it is said if someone asks for salt or asks for pepper, you pass both. In typical etiquette settings, that's what we're taught. That if someone asks for salt or pepper, you send both. You pass both. And things are always passed from the right. That's anti-clockwise. You don't pass things from the left. You pass things from the right. Okay. And you never intercept a pass. So I'm sitting here. I asked for salt. Or maybe I asked for pepper. You are sitting there. The salt and pepper are right there. So Miracle is sitting right there. Sunita is sitting right here. I'm here. And I've asked for pepper. And Miracle is passing me pepper. But just when the pepper begins to travel, Sunita realizes that she needs some too. So she intercepts, quickly puts in her food and passes it. You can't do that in etiquette. It's not this Sunita, it's another Sunita. It's just... So you can't intercept a pass. Don't talk with food in your mouth. When we were kids, they said don't talk while eating. And yes, that's good enough for children because they don't know how to manage it. But for adults, it is not don't talk while eating. It is don't talk with food in your mouth. So you don't talk with food in your mouth. Questions? Okay, I'll take a few questions, but let me let me give you some advice. If it's a formal dinner, your primary intention shouldn't be to eat food. It will mess you up. And part of dining etiquette says, try everything you have put in your plate. I've seen people who are very wasteful in dinners. It's free food, so they just stock up, fill their plate with all kinds of stuff. Then they taste and say, maybe I don't like this, I don't like that. Then they push it aside and the plate is full of things. It's very disrespectful to do that. If you're not sure, take a little. But some people have a hungry man mentality. That let me take now before the thing finishes. So they just pack. And then you realize that you don't like it. Then you start looking bad before your host. And you would distinguish yourself like someone who's in the lowest cadre of life. Yes. You don't do that. So you can start by tasting. When I go for a buffet, part of what I do is when I see something that looks like, something I like, I take in very little quantities. When I sample and taste and know exactly what I want, then you can go back and take what you truly prefer. That's a better way. Don't just load your plate and waste it and then you look bad before the people. That's not okay. Okay, so it is said you must taste, at least try out everything you have put on your plate. So if you have taken it, taste it. Generally, of course, the hospitality of your host will be, don't feel obligated, that's okay. If you don't like it, that's okay. But don't go and fill your plate to wait for them to tell you if you don't like it, that's okay. Take in little quantities first. Okay, I'll take questions and maybe I'll say one or two more. Now, this is the very basic preliminaries, right? The very basic, and just the preliminaries. There's a lot more you should learn about dining etiquette. So, when I point at you, let's start from the very back, Dr. Igwe.
Thank you so much, sir. So I wanted to ask the question about passing stuff. You said you pass to the right. So my question would be, if the person that made the request is just by my left, would it make a lot of sense to start going around the circus?
Well, it's understandable, or it goes to reason that if you're here and the salt or pepper is before you and I am right here asking is just for courtesy, maybe so I don't stretch my hand over your plate, which is wrong. It's unethical to do that. You don't put your hand over someone's food to pick something. Okay, so someone is sitting here, this is his plate of food, you're here and you want that. You're going to stretch your hand over someone's food. Your elbow can even touch his eba. That's not okay. So in that case, I mean, it doesn't go to reason that because the rule says pass things to the right, it's going to pass it through 15 other people to now come back. And I think that what can happen in this case is, even if he does not lift it up, it might just be to position it to where he can easily pick it up. So in that case, it should be, the rules are flexible when it comes to that. Next question. Yes, please.
Okay, so we were at this, we're invited to lunch. Okay, we're invited to lunch by our host in Kampala. So we were at this table, and then something was served, and then I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the name.
Right.
So, and then the host asked, what would you like? And I wanted that thing, but I didn't know the name, and I've never seen it before. So in such a case where there are things on the table
that you don't know,
on the menu that you don't know, what's the best way to go about asking for?
Beautiful. I've been around the world and I have seen many different kinds of cuisine. Now, even in the United States, where I've lived and still maintain residence, Initially, when I used to visit, there were things like if I was in an American dining setting, there are many things I didn't know. American food, till now, I mean, I've lived in the States for years. Till now, there are still some things I do not know. And I know so very many because the food, they are very creative with food. Food is part of the American culture. And even Americans see new things when they go to, some other places. So there's always something you don't know, right? I will ask. I have always asked. Anywhere in the world, if there is food I do not know about, I'm not conversant with, I will ask. And it's okay. It's very okay. I would ask, what exactly is this? And they will tell me. Does it taste good? Now they feel obligated to give you a lesson, a class on all the different kinds of stuff. Like, okay, maybe just a little bitty. Let me taste it and see. Okay, it's nice, but I definitely don't want it. Okay, that's fine. And don't pretend that you like it if you don't like it. Because your running stomach will belong to you alone. That's how you can nicely not want it, right? Okay, I'm not very familiar with it. I'll just let it slide. I'll just let it pass and move on to the next one. And in whatever dining, there's usually something familiar somewhere. Some you will get to like. I remember the first time I ate at the Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is an Indian restaurant. The Taj is a lovely place. Lovely place. And the one thing I really like about the Taj, apart from the curry chicken, they have one special curry chicken. There's this drink called mango lassi. It's the most delicious mango drink in the entire world. See how they're looking at my face. So mango lassi is very, very good. So if I eat in an Indian restaurant, one of the first things I'll ask for is mango lassi. Write it down. Mango lassi. And it tastes really good. So I tasted it the first time, and I tasted it based on a friend's recommendation, and it was very good. And after that, I kept going on. But there are other things I have eaten. They have this rice that has groundnut, groundnut inside the rice. I mean, whole groundnut, fried groundnut, whole roast groundnut inside. I don't like it. I don't like it. Simple and short, And then Chinese food, which is not the very best of all the options. And then there's Mexican food. I like Mexican food. I like Italian food. But Italian food is mostly pasta and sauce and, a wide array of meatballs, pasta, chicken, tomato sauce and all. Yeah, Greek food. I've eaten Greek food. I like, okay. Where were we again? The next question, please. So ask. That's it. Ask. And request to taste a little. If you like it, you take some more. If you don't like it, don't feel obligated.
Okay, sir. Thank you. In case you finish eating your food, is it okay to get up first or you wait for other people?
Okay. In professional dining etiquette, when you finish eating, you stay back at the table until the dining session ends. I have made I've made a distinction between formal dinings and informal dinings. In informal dinings, the rules are relaxed. You are not following all of these strict rules. But I'm teaching you about these rules so that when you are in a certain place that requires these rules, you can pull them out with ease. Now, but in an informal dining setting, the rules are not this stringent, right? The rules are a bit relaxed. And if you finish eating and you need to go or you need to do something, you can. But in formal dining settings, you should only leave the table if it is absolutely necessary to do so, in which case you must formally excuse yourself to leave. But if not, if there's nothing at stake, you sit back at the table until the dining session ends. It is also expected in formal dinings that discussions are going on. So you're engaging other people and you're talking. So you may not be eating at that time, but you may still be in the middle of conversations, interacting and connecting with people. So I hope you understand.
Yes, sir. Please, one more question. Please, should in case you have a long chairs, and then maybe you were sitting,
At the extreme?
at the extreme, yes, and then you don't want to disturb other people. Is it okay to pull out your chair and then sit without passing through?
There's no law that says you must pass through. Okay, you just go straight to your chair, wherever your chair is. Let's say you're leaving the table or coming to the table, you go straight to your chair, you pull out and sit. And while eating, you really can't pass through. You can't pass through. Yeah, so you pull your chair and exit. When you come back, you pull your chair, enter, and get it back in place.
Okay, sir, thank you. Is it okay for a lady to cross her legs while at the dining?
How would you successfully do that? I'm not sure you'll be comfortable, because if we're in a dining setting and everyone is eating and your legs, I'm not sure it will be comfortable. But I have something to tell you about crossing your legs in social etiquette settings, right? But in dining, it's not even really feasible that under the dining table, you're going to cross your leg under the dining table and eat. Another thing, in formal dinings, take your elbows off the table. Do not keep your elbows on the table. Like one elbow on the table and you're digging it with the other hand, or your elbows on the table. Your elbows must be off the table completely. Your phone must be off the table and on silent mode or switched off. Your phone must be off the table. You don't even keep it on the table while dining. In formal dining settings, your phone must be off the table, should be on silent mode or switched off. And if you need your phone for anything, you excuse yourself just like you would. Go do whatever you want to do, but your phone must be off the table. Question? I'll take just a few more.
Okay, sir. When you are eating, if you are served a bar in a formal dining settings, do you use your hand or do
cutlery?
You use the cutlery?
Cutlery. Okay, so I don't know if you heard her question, that if you're served eba in a formal dining setting, do you use your hand or you use cutlery? Before I answer her question, let me add, you must, all of you who are making noise, after my session, I have already spotted some of you. I'm going to have you stand up and answer questions based on what I have taught. And right now, all my questions will come from this part of the auditorium. Nobody is permitted to go and ease himself or herself until I finish. Timileyin, I'm not planning to ask you a question. Just so you know. Peace. You have to know how to use your cutlery, right? Never gesticulate or demonstrate or illustrate with your cutlery in your hands. Like you're telling a story, you have this knife. So you see, when he went, I'm telling you, hey, there shall be no casualty on this table. So you don't do that. You don't use your cutlery to, gesticulate, demonstrate, illustrate. Never use your cutlery for that. And then you have to know how to handle your cutlery properly. Don't hold your cutlery like you're holding a shovel. You don't hold it like that. Or like this. Nah. Please remind me, we have to have that next class soon. We're going to have the settings and I want to demonstrate and illustrate. Okay? Your fork is in your left hand and your knife in your right hand. In a setting where you have two pieces of forks in your space, I already showed you 3 glasses in your space, right? If you have 2 pieces of forks in your space, one of the forks is a dinner fork, the other fork is the dessert fork. Dessert. I didn't say desert. Dessert. Dessert is double S. Desert is 1 S. And of course, desert is DE. Dessert is DI. Okay, so your dessert fork. Usually, the bigger fork is the dinner fork, and the smaller one is the dessert fork. If you have only one, please, brother, use it for both. Do you understand the flexibilities now? If you have only one, use it for both. You may also have a situation where you don't have the 3 glass settings. You know, it might just be 1 glass. Use it as occasion demands. But I'm teaching you the rules so you can know and be flexible. Your knife in your right hand and your fork in your left hand. And you have to know how to hold them. I said don't grab it like a shovel or a spade. Don't hold it like a weapon. And don't use it to illustrate. Never do that. Never do that. So that's how to grab your thing. Now, if you do not have both your knife and your fork in your 2 hands, you are at liberty to use your fork in any hand. Did you get that? If I have both in my hands, right hand will be my knife, left hand will be my fork. But let's imagine that I have dropped my knife, or maybe there's not even a knife. I'm at liberty to either use the fork in my left hand or in my right hand, however. But once the knife comes into that system of play, the rules have to be kept. The knife must be in my right. You cannot use the knife in your left hand, even if you're lefty. And I've seen someone, what did I see? Was fork and spoon. I don't understand what the person was doing. I really don't understand what the person was doing. Not a good time to disgrace your community, but you know. So if you have that, in some settings there's provision for water. And feel free to wash your hands, come back to your food, enjoy it the way you like to eat it, go back and wash it. Some people are really happy, like, yes, yes, yes. In some settings, however, you may not have water. When there is no water, there are people who are audacious. They ask for water. Still not bad. Still not bad. But if you're in a setting where it is impossible to have water, and I'm going to tell you to train yourself to eat ogbono soup and eba or poundo or whatever swallow with fork and knife, and it is possible. And I don't know which is easier, actually. I mean, there is the effect of licking your fingers when you're eating. It's part of the enjoyment. It sends some special signals to the brain. Because some people's concern is that, what will I be licking now? Cutlery. And it'll be weird if you have to lick your cutlery. Yeah, because you don't have your fingers to lick. You just... you turn it around. And your mind is very far. So your neighbor has to type, you say, brother, are you okay? Your food is not finished. Your food is not finished. My assignment for you today is go and train yourself to eat with your left hand using the fork. It's not that difficult. With some good training, I'm telling you, you're going to get it. Just train in your personal space. There's nobody to laugh at you. Laugh at yourself. Oh yeah, you have to train yourself. Like rice, especially rice. Train yourself on how to eat rice using a fork in your left hand. A fork in your left hand. Train yourself. Train yourself. Train. You will get it. You know, there's when you just start, your hands will. The good thing about the mouth is no one can miss their way to the mouth. In the darkest of nights, you can eat eba comfortably. Even if they blindfold you, you can eat. But you see, this thing about the left hand and the fork, especially with rice, you know, your hands begin to shake. But the whole idea of learning to use cutlery so that you can feel confident when you're in public. You know, you can feel confident. Like I told you, there are some hacks. If you're not very sure, drop the knife and the rules change. You know, once you drop the knife, the rules change. You can have the fork in your right hand or you can use your spoon, in which case, but it's good to know it. You can hack it. You can learn it. Okay, so, and rice, use the knife to arrange, and sometimes you can just press it in a little bit. Train yourself and start training from home. That will help you when you go out to public, you will be able to do it. Next question. Let's see how many more questions we have, because 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all. No more. Oh my God, Minika and you. Please, no more questions, so we can close the class.
Okay, sir. In a situation where you're outside the country and you have like your coat on, you have maybe a bag, and where do you keep them? Because I don't see people on the dinner table with their coats. And
I will explain it. So in our houses and in public places in the US, you have a space for coats. The moment you step into the place, you would also notice that many jackets that are professionally done have this thing. Look at that. So if it's a tiny knob, like in airplanes, you can find that knob where you can hang your coat. In houses, typically houses in the US and some other parts of the world, even in the UK, you know, the moment you enter, there's always that place where you can hang your coat, you know. Even in churches, in our churches, it's all there. Like, because of the weather, sometimes we come in winter coats and stuff like that, and you don't find people sitting on their seats unless you're fresh from Nigeria, you know. And I won't blame you. Please wear it. Yes, save your life. Wear it. Okay, if you have to wear it. But there's always that place where we can hang coats. There are hangers there, and you hang. So that's why you don't see them with their coats in dinner tables, because the coats have been taken care of. So there's always a place for coats, whether in public places or in homes. There's always a place for coats. So yes, so that's what you do with your coats. You hang it. Oh, and your bags. Well, for bags, depending on the size of your bag, you know, if it's just a regular bag, I think it can be under your seats, wherever you sit here, because you might need it. If it's a bag that maybe has no risk or anything, or if you are in a place that is not excessively public, maybe in a home, where you hang coats, there are racks there too. If you want to, you can keep it there. But I would say your bag can go under your chair. Wherever you sit for dinner, your bag can be under your chair.
So, in the aspect of using cutleries while eating, what if, like, I just learned this aspect of using fork to eat rice, and now I like it. But so, what if maybe you're actually going to catch up somewhere for another appointment, and here you are, a plate of rice in front of you, you need to use the fork, and maybe just like maybe barely 30 minutes for you to catch up with what you're going to. Sir, please help me out. Should I still use the spoon at my right hand so that I can rush up for the appointment, or I should use the fork?
Just tell me that you like to eat fast. Just tell me. I will understand. Tell me you like to eat fast. Okay, so but I've told you the hacks. I've said you can use a fork and knife, and that when you're using both together, The knife has to be in your right hand and the fork in your left. I said also that if you do not want to use both at the same time, and don't forget that your knife has got a purpose. It's not just for fancy. You may have fish or meat or something that needs to be cut. When we do the actual practicals, I'm going to show you how to pin down your meat and how to cut. If not, you will disgrace yourself. And what I mean is, you might splatter, you might have the cutlery hit the silverware too hard. All of those are contrary to etiquette, practices. If you find pomo that is hard, avoid it. No matter how you like pomo, no matter what relationship you have with pomo, avoid it. And don't put it in your bag to take home. Some people are just impossible. This pomo, you can't go free. Don't put it in your bag to take home. Just avoid it. And it's not difficult to know when pomo is hard. For those of you watching online, pomo is cow skin. It's a delicacy in Nigeria especially. But don't even get it wrong. In New York, we buy pomo. Don't get it wrong. And then some of that stuff, like what we call shaki. When we go to the stores, where's Pastor K? There's something they call tripe. Some of those insidey parts, they have nice names, but we look for them and buy them. We look for them and buy them. So when you touch it and you see that it's hard, when you try your knife, there are some preliminaries. If it's too hard, please don't look left and right and put it in your bag. Allow it. Don't even try fighting with it. Because at home, people chew it until it becomes chewing gum. They still refuse to lose, so they swallow it. If you have never swallowed pomo that you chewed here, let me see your hand up. We are going to pray for you. You've not enjoyed this life, the whole life. It has skills. You bite it from the edges slowly. You humble the pomo. Do you understand what I'm saying? But reserve that for your own dining table. Don't take it outside. It's going to be a very big problem. Don't go and start some kind of just leave it. You must respect yourself when you are in public. Let it pain you, but respect yourself. Tell yourself, I can walk away from this pomo. I can. Yes, I can. And I will. So if you don't need the knife, drop it. And if you want to eat with your right hand or left hand with a fork, if it's just that single cutlery, you can. And if you do not want to use the fork, grab your spoon. Nobody said you cannot eat with the spoon. But when you're eating with the spoon, it can't be spoon and knife. It also can be spoon and fork. The spoon is alone by itself. If you must use the fork and knife, then the knife on the right, fork on the left. I hope you understand. Yeah, so you know how to be flexible. If you don't want to use any of those, just drop them and you can use your spoon. Eat as fast as possible and catch your appointment. What was the next question? The next question? No, somebody else had a question. I think we have two other people. I don't mean fresh questions. Those who lifted up their hands. Was your hand lifted up? Okay, ask.
I had a conversation with somebody that served.
Sorry?
I had a conversation.
You had a conversation with somebody
that served in a formal setting, and she said her host was displeased with those people that did not finish their food. So I was going to ask, I'm always hearing that you don't have to finish your food. And then this person saying that the host was displeased with those who did not finish their food. So I was going to ask, is it very necessary to finish your food, or do you have to leave something in your plate?
Okay, very good question. Very good question. When you're eating like rice, you eat beginning from the part closest to you, you eat in, you eat away. Let me explain. This is your plate of food. This is rice. you start eating from the part closest to you. You eat away from you, right? It's part of etiquette skills. So you eat away, you make progress, you go forward. You know, you eat forward. You don't start from the side, start from there, start from there. And in etiquette skills, you don't blow on your food to cool it. Like there are skills for rice. You know how to separate it. Then the steam starts coming out. Then you encourage the steam to come out. Or sometimes you take and then do that at home, but not in public. Not in public. And you don't have to flip your eba like you do at home. It's hot. Don't do that. Don't do that. Might be the last time they will invite you for anything in public. Also, you don't need to slap it before you start eating. Again, in your tea, you don't blow in your tea and you don't slop when you are sipping. That's why you have to be patient and slow. So how do I eat hot rice? You might ask. There are many different skills. Many different skills. On another day when we have the rice, we can talk about it. You can actually break down the mountain little by little and have very little rice on your plate. You know, stew that part and slowly eat it. There are skills on how to navigate this thing. Don't just separate the rice and begin to blow. Don't do that. Don't take a hot spoon and begin to blow. No. Eat it little by little. Wise men know where to take the rice from, you know, so that it's not too hot. Is there anybody who does not have that wisdom? So you do it skillfully and you can make progress like that. Okay. So for food, like I said earlier, don't take food you cannot finish. Be sure you like it before you take. However, there are times when the deed has been done. You've taken all of these etiquette skills, say, try to taste, at least try everything you have put on your plate. I also said that your host will be very unhappy to see you waste food. I remember saying that. But let's imagine all things being equal, is food you like, you have eaten. I don't imagine you're going to leave half your plate to prove some kind of point. It's not right. You can't leave half your plate of food with meat in it and, you know, just so that they won't think, no. Eat your food. Let your host be happy that you enjoyed their food. Okay, so but what is usually advised is don't scrape your plates clean. You know how you finish eating, you really enjoyed it. Then we start hearing, grab. You've scraped every grain. Don't do that. So you can lightly leave some food. Lightly. And when I mean lightly, it should be clear that you've done justice to this food. You've eaten it properly. But again, it doesn't mean you licked out the whole plate. You scraped. Do you understand? Now, but if genuinely you are full, genuinely you are full, then there's nothing you can do about it. If it's a bad case, I would recommend that you apologize to your host. If it's a bad case. But if not, you can play around the rules in such a way that you don't look bad. And if you enjoyed the food, finish your food and just finish lightly. Don't scrape clean. Finish lightly. Please don't eat bones in a formal dinner setting. Don't eat bones. Say, I can't allow this chicken bone just go like that. You know, you must eat the cartilage on both ends. Do not do it. I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God. Don't do it. You know, just eat the flesh and leave the bone. Let it pain you. Walk away. Leave it like that. Yes. Don't eat your bones. At home, you're free if you like. Train your teeth. It has calcium. It's at home. Okay? But in public, Do not. What was the other question?
All right, yes, sir. Mine is a follow-up to Dr. Victor's question, just a bit more. You explained the aspect where the salt or the pepper is at your immediate right, so the person adjusts it to just where you can pick it yourself. What about if it is 2-3 people to your right, and then or to your left, and you don't pass things backwards, right? So do you have to go all the way around, or the people can adjust it in a way that it can get to you still?
So most times, really, right? Most times, really, it's not just one serving of pepper and salt. There's usually multiple ones on the table. Really. So in an ideal situation, it won't be that one that has to travel through 7 continents to reach you. There will be a bunch of them strategically positioned. So if it's a professional dinner setting that requires the rules, somehow there will also be all of those things at easy reach, so yeah, that's what I would say.
So please, when you are having dinner, can you fill both the water glass and a wine glass at the same time?
Yes, I do not know of any rule that says you can't have wine and water at the same time. The glasses they are there for your pleasure. So I have not encountered, I do not know of any rule that says it has to be water or wine at one time. No. I know I talked about cocktail the other time. It's a different set of rules. And let me close by saying in a restaurant, for restaurant etiquette, let's say you had a business meeting or some kind of meeting in a restaurant, you don't start eating until the other people are served. If you must start eating, which I have done a few times, you excuse the other person. And why did I do that? The last time I did that, I'm thinking I had this meeting with this person, and it was in New York, not too long ago, a few months ago. And so the food was such that it would easily get cold. It was served warm. And it was a breakfast meeting. It would easily get cold. I do not like cold food at all. I don't like cold food. And by the way, I think he either ordered something or just reordered something. It was going to take a couple minutes for his food to come. So I excused myself to start eating, and it was fine. So there are those flexibilities. You can excuse yourself. If I had waited, and I think it was winter, this probably, I think maybe November. So it was winter. If I'd waited for that other food to come, mine would be cold, completely cold. And then I had tea, everything would be cold. So I excused myself and I started eating. So you can excuse yourself. But professionally, if all things being equal, you wait for everyone to be served, then you start eating. With these few points of mine, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. Is it the offerings I'm taking or the ticket fees? Okay, so the resident pastor says to take the offering. You have your offering, you can lift it up. The offerings are blessed today in the precious name of Jesus. And as you give, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will men give to your bosom in Jesus' precious name. Amen. Amen. The tithers are blessed in the precious name of Jesus. If you're doing a transfer, the account number will be on the screen and you can transfer. God bless you, and I hope you loved this class. Did you? So in the next class, we will have practicals and I can teach you the other parts of etiquette skills. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives, and we shall dwell in the presence of the Lord forever. Amen. If you came for the very first time today, you're in HoneyStreams for the very first time, can you wave? If you're here and this is your very first time, hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Please, can you take everything you came to church with? Come forward as we receive you very specially. Come on here. Please give them a big, big, big God bless you as they come. Come on, come on.
Welcome to HoneyStreams.
First timers, come on, come on, come on. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Flowing within, you are beautiful. We really love you. This is your place of destiny.
Thank you for coming. We will speak to you briefly at the end of the service. Thank you. God bless you. Hold somebody as we sing our closing song. Remember to practice at home. Choir. I have 3 questions. If I was inviting you to eat now, you will not say no. So I should not ask you what I want to ask you. I love you too, but I can still ask you. Okay. I wanted to ask you what you want for lunch, but you said I shouldn't ask you.
Right to your left to right, please hold the neighbor. So I'm born to overcome the world. Oh, I am born to overcome the world. Say I have a destiny. I have a destiny. I have a destiny. To win,